Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, we are in a new month, we're in a new year, and instead of doing our usual monthly Senate prediction, which probably is about the same as last month, we'll do another one next month, but I wanted to outline what is the best case scenario for Republicans in the Senate, because it seems like their floor is going to be around 51, 52. But if everything goes right, which it probably won't, but this is like the best case scenario, if every possible thing goes right, if the stars completely align, Biden completely gets shellacked, Trump does his best, Republicans actually fund the right candidates in the right places, the right amount regarding the Senate races, which they probably won't, what would the Senate map look like? And this is the ceiling. Obviously, we know there's a floor. I fully expect the truth to lie in the middle of those two. But nevertheless, I thought we would fill out what the map would look like here, going state by state. Now, some states are not going to be competitive regardless. You have your Washingtons, you have your Californias, your Hawaiis, your Eastern Seaboard. I will say that New Jersey, the best case would be for it to be close if Menendez is going to be the nominee. I don't think he will be, but under a best case scenario, we're going to factor that in. But all these other races are going to be going safe in the Democrat column. Make no mistake about it. Now, Minnesota, that's an iffy one. I'm assuming the best case scenario would have Minnesota at the presidential race being razor thin. Do I think Klobuchar is going to outrun Trump by a sizable amount? Probably, I would say by, maybe you could say a little bit less than she's done in years past because she's been there for a while. You know, she is relatively popular for one reason or another, but still we'll put that one in the likely blue column. In a best case scenario, it could be under 10%. And the same thing goes for the state of Maine there. So here we go. It seems like we have all of the safe Democrat states filled out. Then you have the safe Republican states, Wyoming, North Dakota, both of the Nebraska races, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, Indiana, now West Virginia, which already probably was safe Republican, but now that Manchin's not running, it's going to be even safer. Then you have Utah, and that would get them to 48 out of the gate that they're going to be winning by 10 points or more, at least the races that are currently on this map. So now we get to move on to the other individual races, and Florida probably is going to be close to safe. You could even argue that maybe it would be safe. I know Rick Scott's not the most popular, but he's not the most hated either. The same thing goes for Ted Cruz in the state of Texas. I fully expect both to probably have a sizable victory of 5 to 10 points in each state, regardless if it's the best case scenario or if it's not the best case scenario. So we also have to include Montana and Ohio. Both have Democrat incumbents, but I mean, if Donald Trump is winning both states by more than he won them by in 2020, and Republicans don't lag behind all that much, it's very possible that Republicans could win both of these races by a likely margin. It really is true. I mean, John Tester's approval, it's not bad, but he's not really being attacked right now. Sherrod Brown's isn't really all that great from what I've seen. It's not like underwater or anything, but he's very vulnerable. And I could see him losing by more than 5 in a best case scenario for Republicans. So those states would also be in the likely column for Republicans. Now, in terms of the lean column for Democrats, you'd have to include probably New Mexico in this case, because I just can't see Republicans winning it. They really don't have a candidate. Like, if the state does, have a massive turn to the right, could it be closer? Could the Democrat be caught off guard a little bit? I mean, it's possible, but do I see Republicans in any scenario winning that Senate race? Probably not. I would have to say they wouldn't. I think that Virginia or Pennsylvania are more likely for Republicans to go out there and win than New Mexico, even if it may be that next domino to fall per se. So up next we have the lean Republican states, in which we will fill these out, the state of Arizona. And this is a three-way race, make no mistake. Kari Lake is somebody who is a polarizing figure, but in a three-way race, if Donald Trump is getting 49% of the vote, a lot of his supporters in the state are going to vote for Kari Lake. They're not going to be voting for lifelong Democrat, liberal Kyrsten Sinema in high numbers at all. They're just not. I mean, Sinema's demographic may be those like ancestral, like McCain diehard supporters, but a lot of those voters are voting for Joe Biden regardless. It's not going to be enough, or they'll be voting third party. So if anything, you could make the case that she would help Kari Lake out. Ruben Gallego's a train wreck, a total disaster. So yeah, in a best case scenario, I think you could see Lake win like 47-43. That would put it in the lean Republican column. Absolutely. I think it's going to be a very competitive race, and Lake is doing things better this time around. She's going out there and she's making friends. She's building bridges. She's not burning bridges, especially when it comes down to Senate leadership. They like her. They get along, which is a good thing because they're going to help her out in terms of her ability to go out there and win. And it seems like the primary that she's in is not really going to be all that competitive this time around, which is something that definitely held Republicans back quite a bit regarding the governorship race back in 2022. So up next, we have the state of Nevada. And I think if Donald Trump is going to be taking the state by a couple of points, which I think could happen, yeah, Republicans will go out there and they will flip the Senate race. Sam Brown's probably going to be the nominee when it's all said and done. I don't think he's like going to be the greatest senator in the world. He's not going to be the worst Republican senator either, but could he absolutely win the state of Nevada? It's possible. It really is. But we'll have to see. But up next, we go to the Rust Belt. We go to the Midwest, where you have Wisconsin. And if Donald Trump is going to win it by a few points, I could see Tammy Baldwin go down. If Eric Hovde is the nominee, I think he will be. If David Clark is the nominee, Republicans can just kiss the race goodbye because he has a lot of baggage, and that's not exactly something that you would want to have. But if Trump wins the state by a couple of points and Republicans put up a generic type of candidate, yeah, they can absolutely have that Senate seat in the state of Wisconsin because down ballot effects matter. Usually Republicans down ballot overperform Trump by a couple of points. It's not always going to be the same in every single race across the country. I think this is one of those races where, yeah, because Baldwin's the incumbent, she'll probably outperform Joe Biden, but is it going to be by enough if Trump wins the state in like a best case scenario by like 4 or 5, which the math is there. A lot of people will disregard it, but the math is there, especially with these third-party candidates in the mix. I think, yeah, Wisconsin absolutely can go Republican in a best-case scenario in this race. Up next, you have Michigan, which is an open seat. So, honestly, if Donald Trump is taking Michigan, I think you will see James Craig also go out there and take the state of Michigan. I don't think this is that controversial. I think that this is a very winnable Senate race. I think Republicans may not be the favorite as of right now, but can they win this race? They absolutely could. And in doing so, it would flip the state into their column. It would flip an open seat. Stabenow's retiring, and it seems like Alyssa Slotkin's going to be the Democrat nominee, who, I mean, in terms of electoral prospect, she's not like a total juggernaut. She's not like a candidate who would be a liability for them either. But James Craig's a solid candidate. I think he could win if Donald Trump wins. I think that's what it's going to come down to because a lot of this has to do with these down ballot effects that we see. And that would make Michigan the 56th red Senate seat for Republicans. So there's 2 states left, Pennsylvania and Virginia. And I think that Donald Trump is going to win Pennsylvania. It is possible he takes it by several percentage points at the end of the day if everything shakes out in his favor between now and Election Day, which is going to be taking place about 10 months from now. But in terms of the state of Pennsylvania, Bob Casey is a powerhouse. He's an electoral juggernaut. Dave McCormick is like the second coming of Dr. Oz, for better or worse. I think on the issues, he's worse. I don't think he's all that electable. A lot of people will see him as an out-of-touch carpetbagger, hedge fund manager. He has problems with the base, which, I mean, in terms of a down-ballot race where everything's focused on Trump, you might say some of those concerns may be mitigated, but still, I can't see him pulling it off. I can't see him winning. I know he's going to get the nomination. Nobody else really is going to have a serious challenge to him in that regard, but I think in the best-case scenario, he would fall short by like 1 to 2 points or so, and Trump would have to win in a massive landslide to carry him, which is possible, but in the realistic best-case scenario, I would have to say no. And then you go to Virginia, which, again, I'd like for Republicans to win this race. They are running Hung Kao. Hung Kao is probably going to be the nominee. He is a very solid candidate. He's a good fit for Virginia, but he's also not bad on the issues as well, and he was a massive overperformer in the 2022 midterms when he ran, and I don't believe he's going to win, even in a best-case scenario. It could be close. It could be close, but as of right now, I'd have to say that in the best-case scenario, he would fall a little bit short. He would outperform Trump by like 5 points or so, but it wouldn't exactly be enough to carry him in a state like Virginia, even if Virginia is turning a corner. So here we go. Best case scenario for the Republicans, they get 56 Senate seats. Donald Trump has a rhino-proof majority to work with. He doesn't exactly have the 60 seats necessary to fully clear the filibuster, but if Republicans do get 56 Senate seats, they have a lot more leeway. And looking at the future maps for 2026, 2028, etc., it really seems as if they have this majority, they may not squander it for decades. We'll have to see what happens in the future. But as of right now, if they get the best case scenario, it would be good for them. They're probably not going to get 56, but this is the more realistic best case scenario if everything goes right for Republicans this fall. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.